The 2019 MHSAA Gymnastics Finals were filled with lots of jumps, flips, and turns, and we covered all the team highlights right here, starting with Forest Hills United.
While they may not have placed as high as they wanted, the Forest Hill United gymnastics team put forth their best effort while competing. Starting at the balance beam, where Hannah Walters completed a lot of twists and turns, received an 8.225. Her teammate Hannah Biesbrock started her routine with 2 impressive back walkovers, which would lead her team on the beam with a score of 8.9 points. Biesbrock also competed on the floor, where she would tie for the highest score on her team with 8.75. Rachel Chadwick was not far behind on the floor, where she completed a triple flip and scored an 8.65.
On paper, it might not look the best, but you couldn't tell when you were the Jackson Gymnastics team. Multiple players had great performances, including the bar performances from Faith Kimple and Maddie Gerard. Kimple scored a team-high 8.275, and Maddie Gerard was not too far behind with 8.25. Jackson ended up coming in 12th place with a final score of 134.825.
Huron Valley United put up a good fight during the finals. On the floor, Laura Nowicki scored a 9.125 and Nicole Graham scored a 9.2 to lead their team in the perspective category. Over on the vault, Haley Martin launched her way to an 8.45. Huron placed 11th with a score of 137.825.
Grosse Pointe United stood united throughout the day, starting on the floor, where they came in 8th after a great performance put on by Emma Scott, who scored an even 9 points, and Kate Gagner, who led the team with an impressive 9.375. However, as a team, Grosse Pointe United best placement came on the vault, where they placed 4th overall. Grosse Pointe United ended their day in 10th place with a total of 138.4.
The Heartland girls showed a lot of heart as they competed in the MHSAA Gymnastics Finals. Heartland showed their athleticism on the floor as Nicole Bragg and Layla Fatouni both put on stunning performances on their way to a score of 8.875. Abby Van Gotham scored herself an 8.825 on the balance beam after ending her routine with a back walkover. Heartland placed 9th overall with a score of 138.6.
When we come back, you find out who placed in the top 8. You don't want to miss this.
I'm on the Blue Devil football team, and that's a great place to be, because other colleges wouldn't let me be both a football player and a nursing student. And just because I'm a dog on the field doesn't mean I can't take care of people. And man, do I love people. The small class size at LTU give me awesome access to my nursing professors. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.
The Linden Gymnastics team put up a hard-fought battle. The girls came in 6th on the vault with a score of 35.55. On the bars, they came in 9th. Lauren Hayden, who placed 2nd on the team with a score of 8.35, showed great composure while completing her routine. April Smith led the team on the bar with a score of 8.5725 after an effortless routine. Linden would go on to place 8th on the day with a total score of 139.1.
Howell's gymnastics team had an all-around great team effort throughout competition, landing 5th in the vault with a score of 35.55 and 5th on the floor with a score of 36.25. Audrey Kane, who scored an 8.55, and Alyssa Murphy, who scored an 8.5975, gave their team a great boost on the uneven bars where the teams placed 6th. Howell came in 7th place on the day with a score of 138.6.
Northville had an overall balanced day of competition. Starting on the floor was Laura Hutt, who led the team with a score of 9.15 after showing her athleticism during her routine. Moving to the bars were Skylar Peppo, who flawlessly transitioned from bar to bar, scored an 8.25. Sarah Gallagher twisted her way to a respectable 8.75. Northville came in 6th on the day with a score of 141.2.
Livonia Blue had a stellar day of competing, but shined bright in the uneven balance beams, where they came in 2nd on the day, led by McKenna Fedrigo, who scored a team-high 9.125. Fedrigo didn't do it by herself, as teammates Bella Viguera, who scored an 8.6, good enough for 2nd on the team, and Den Florn, who came in 3rd on the team with a score of 8.55, helps carry the load. Anissa Conway, who scored an 8.25, and Natalie Irving, who scored an 8.35, both put up respectable numbers. As a team on the day, Livonia Blue scored a total of 141.875, good enough for 5th place.
The girls from Fowlerville had themselves a great day of competition, starting with the uneven bars, where 5 girls competed, starting with Taylor Gillespie, who twisted her way to an 8.425 score. Rami Soraya started her routine strong, but slipped in the lower bar. She would gather herself, though, to finish and would score a 7.8. Izzy Litz would smoothly transition from lower to upper bar, and with a nice flip at the end, earned herself a score of 8.75. Becca Leonard is up on the next bars and flipped her way to a score of 8.125. Danny Willanen would finish her routine so effortlessly as she would lead her team on the bars with a score of 8.5. Moving on to the floor routine, where Willanen would also compete and with a flawless routine scored a 9.075. The last competitor for Fowlerville, Sarah Litz, led her team on the floor with a flawless routine, earning herself a 9.425. Overall, Fowlerville would end the day with a total of 141.925. That would be enough for 4th place.
When we come back, we show you who won the 2019 MHSAA Gymnastics Championship. Don't go anywhere.
It's hard for young people to get financed, and Michigan Legacy helped me get my first auto loan. For that, I'm forever grateful, and I love this credit union.
At Michigan Legacy Credit Union, students are eligible to get a car loan without a cosigner. We are offering car loans to members who are 18 years or older and have not established credit yet. If you have a job, Michigan Legacy Credit Union can provide a car loan you can afford, allowing you to make your first big purchase. Go to MichiganLegacyCU.org to learn more. Start your financial future with Michigan Legacy Credit Union.
Plymouth girls performed well throughout the day, but they particularly shined on the vault, where 5 players were flawless. Starting with Ella Seal, who participated in every event and scored an 8.75 on the vault. In her only event of the day, Sasha Kasari scored an 8.725. Also competing in every event was Ava Iola, who flipped her way to an 8.35 on the vault. Jaya Dandy would run, jump, and twist her way to an 8.9, enough for 2nd on the vault. Although she didn't stick her landing, Courtney Jordan's amazing in-air twist was enough for a team high of 9.05. Plymouth would go on to place 3rd overall with a final score of 142.025.
Rockford put on a show this year at the Gymnastics Championship. Ashley Faulkner started her balance beam routine with a back walkover before slipping while attempting a backflip. She would courageously get back up on the beam to finish and scored a total of 8.625. A backflip is how Morgan Case started her beam routine. After a few twirling scissor kicks, Case would score a team-high 9.225. On to the vault, where Faulkner completed a 2-handed front flip and flipped her way to an 8.825. Case also competed in the vault, where she had a nice takeover into a double leg tuck for a team-high 9.2. Nicole Curtis would spring her way to a 2-handed body twist for a score of 8.5. Lastly, Reagan Iman showed her flexibility as she twisted her body while flipping and scored an 8.975. Rockford as a team came in 2nd on the vault with a total score of 35.5. Coming up just short of the champs with a final score of 144.25, Rockford would be your 2019 MHSAA Gymnastics runner-up.
The girls from Farmington competed like champions all day long. Starting with Alina Vargo, who led her team in all categories, including on the floor, where she received a 9.675 after a stunning performance. Casey Noseworthy had a great floor routine and scored herself a 9.5. Moving on to the uneven bars, where Shelby Smith used her upper body strength to move from lower to upper bar and scored an 8.4. Continuing their excellent bar routines would be Allison Schultz and Sydney Schultz. Allison Schultz completed an amazing routine with her lower bar twirl onto the high bar, and Sydney Schultz, who had a couple of clean turns on the low bar and a smooth transition to the high bar, both scored an 8.5. With a total score of a whopping 145.55, Farmington would become your 2019 MHSAA Girls Gymnastic Champions.
The key to this season was not only practicing and getting better, but our team bond. We always have to make sure that we have a good bond. Even when things don't go our way, we're there to support each other, and we can still win even if we mess up on one event.
We were number one, so there was actually a little more pressure. I felt more pressure. Last 3 nights, I don't think I slept because they had an outstanding season. They were undefeated in their dual meets. They won every invitational, and we won regionals. So you just go and you got to do it one more time.
Feels really incredible. It's nice to win it 2 years in a row, especially, and my last 2. The team really came together and pulled it through, and it shows through the hard work we put in throughout the season.
Congratulations again to Farmington and all the teams and players who competed at this year's gymnastics finals.